I did a video the other day talking about Pierre and his love affair with John A. Here's a reminder. But yesterday he was at a presser, and one of the reporters asked him a question. Let's just take a look.
It was a rough night to drive in. I don't know, did John A. MacDonald have crowds like that when he was the MP here?
He may have had a few crowds around City Hall.
That was Pierre proudly talking about the crowds gathering at his rallies in Kingston. But I want you to listen to the question that the reporter asks. Well, there's two questions, really. But one of them has to do with John A.
What I'm going to ask you is about putting Sir John A.'s statue back in Kingston and the impact that might have on Indigenous relations and truth and reconciliation.
And then the reporter tacks on a second question, which Pierre answers first. But do you notice how he went from the fake smile to the thoughtful nod? Hold on to that, because the reporter is specifically asking him, in relation to John A. MacDonald, and if you know the history, what impact that might have on things like truth and reconciliation. John A. is one of the reasons why there should be reconciliation. And the fact that Pierre is obsessed, even though in his little video, he talked about how there would be consultation with Indigenous groups when he plans on putting pipelines and railways all over Canada. So let's get to Pierre's answer.
I believe we should put the John A. MacDonald statue back up. I mean, you agree with that? What do you think? Look, it was John A. MacDonald who first had the vision of resisting American annexation. His entire life was dedicated to a great East-West nation. That's why he put together Confederation and why he built the railroad. An East-West railroad was designed to bind us together with iron and steel. And that's exactly what we need to do now. We need East-West pipelines, roadways, transmission lines, and other resources that will link our nation from east to west and reverse the hopeless reliance the Liberals have made us face with the Americans. You know, President Trump wants to keep our economy weak by supporting Mark Carney, keeping Liberals in power for a fourth term. But what's good for President Trump is not what's good for Canada. We need a new government. We'll put Canada first for a change. And that includes standing up for and uniting around our brilliant history. And that history includes John A. MacDonald. Thank you.
Our brilliant history. He didn't answer the questions about how it would be impactful to truth and reconciliation. John A. MacDonald dedicated his life to using marginalized groups as slaves. That's a lot of what John A. MacDonald did. And look, I had a comment that said, oh, the morals of back then are different and we can't judge people on that. The very same people that kept talking about Trudeau in the faces. Sure, I get that morals were different. It's still not okay. It's still not okay. Hence the reason for truth and reconciliation. It's also okay not to celebrate people who did bad things, including getting the railway, which is why he had to step down the first time he was prime minister, and then miraculously got voted back in. I guess because morals were different back then. But as part of evolving, growing as a human species, it's also okay to recognize and acknowledge the really shitty things that some of our politicians did way back when morals were different. But Pierre doesn't acknowledge that at all, ever, even when he's specifically asked about how it would be impactful to Indigenous relations and truth and reconciliation. Spoiler alert, it's because he doesn't care about it. And in this upcoming federal election, Indigenous voices are important. Indigenous voters are important. I'm not an Indigenous person, but it hurts my heart when I see blue signs for Indigenous CPC candidates. There's one for West Edmonton. But where a party refuses to even acknowledge that their obsession caused harm to people in the past, that should be of concern. I can't wait till we get a statue of Justin, and if Pierre is still milking his political career, he'll hopefully have to walk past it every damn day. Ah, retribution.